Meet this baby is my new console, Miyoo A30 horizontal version, for those of us who prefer horizontal handhelds over vertical ones. This design is a big plus in terms of comfort. In this video I'll give a review, we'll take a look at ergonomics, buttons, the screen and even the software. Without any further delay, let's dive in. First, let's start with the specs. Miyoo A30 is powered by the Cortex A33 CPU, featuring 4 A7 cores. It comes with a Mali GPU and 512 MB of RAM. The display specs: 2.8-inch screen and a 640 by 480 resolution. The battery is 2500 mAh, providing between 2 to 4 hours of gameplay. It's lightweight at just approx 110 grams. In terms of connectivity, we have 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. It's always awesome to see that in a small device like this. It runs its own stock Linux-based operating system. This console does not have a headphone jack, but it does support USB-C audio. I want to express my gratitude to the store Geek.goo for providing this console. You can purchase it through the link in the description box. Let's move over to the unboxing. Each device comes with a carrying case. I really like this case. It looks durable and has nice zipper accents. Inside there is a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a USB-C to headphone jack adapter and an instruction manual. Now, let's jump into my initial impressions of the Miyoo A30. I got the grey model, reminiscent of the Nintendo Famicom. First impressions: it's a very lightweight device for its size, tactily pleasant, the plastic is smooth. A small and neat console that doesn't feel cheap to me. I really like it. In real life, it looks much better than in photos. Overall, it feels more like a classic design, akin to an old NES controller, but more rounded. There is a nostalgic charm to it. This is membrane D-pad, much like other classic controllers, so it has a very familiar and classic feel. Analog stick is recessed quite a bit, sticking out just about the same as the D-pad. This helps keep it flush with the device, preventing it from sticking out too much. For games that rely on a stick, like Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 or PlayStation games, I prefer using this over a D-pad. Now, let's take a look at the face buttons. They're textured, sticking out the same amount from the case, and are easy to press. These are the kind of buttons I feel I could press for hours without issue. I also like their size. On the right side we have the select and start buttons, relatively quiet and soft to press down. Finally, on the bottom right corner we have our single mono speaker. Let's do a quick sound test. I think the audio here is pretty good, especially considering this device is around $55. The speaker itself gets quite loud and has a fair amount of clarity. No complaints from me when it comes to the audio. On the right side we have a single power button and 2 LED indicators. When we plug in a charging cable, the top LED turns red, and when we turn on the device, the bottom LED turns blue. I tested various cables and found that a standard USB-A to USB-C worked fine. However, with the USB-C to USB-C cable did not fit and does not charge this console. For example, my cable from iPhone 15. Up top, we have shoulder and trigger buttons, all in one line, which are pressed very softly and, most importantly, very quietly. I like this. Also up top, we have a home button and a USB-C port. In addition to charging, this port can also be used for connecting headphones via an adapter. Finally, up top, we also have our volume up and down buttons. They press easily and work reliably. On the bottom, we have a single microSD card slot. Every Miyoo A30 should come with a microSD card. Mine came with a 64GB card preloaded with games. If you want to replace this card with another, more reliable one from a popular brand, this will not pose any problems. You can transfer all files from one SD card to another, or download an archive of games from the official Miyoo website. I think it is very convenient and does not require specific skills, as is the case with some other consoles. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can click the bell icon to not miss new videos. By the way, you can support me and become my sponsor on YouTube or Patreon. This is a unique opportunity to become part of our private community and get access to exclusive content. I constantly share mockups, interesting fonts, wallpapers, and other useful design materials with my sponsors. Thank you for your support. Let's continue. Next, let's look at the screen. This is a 2.8-inch screen with all bezels covered by the case. The device feels a little squarish and blocky in the hands. It just feels more like an 80s controller. I like this design. The console turns on quite quickly, greeting us with a splash screen. On the far left, we have the Recents category, which shows your most recently played games. To the right is the Favorite category, where you can set up your favorite games. After that, there's a Games folder, displaying different systems that can be played on this device. By the way, we see categories for Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 and even PlayStation. Launching a game is simple. Pick the system, press A and you'll see a games list pre-populated with titles. Navigate to a game, press A to launch, and you're good to go. To access the main menu, press the Home button. The in-game menu allowing you to save or load a save state. At the bottom there is an exit game item that will return us to the main screen. Further to the right in the main menu, we have the App section. Here my favorite application here is Flip Clock. It turns the console into a clock, with which you can decorate your interior. The last category is the Settings menu. First is the brightness setting, ranging from 0 to 10. Perfect for playing in the dark. Below brightness, we have color options with parameters adjustable. By default, they're all set to 10, providing a good balance and saturation. In my testing, I did not need to adjust the color settings. Next in settings are language options: traditional and simplified Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, Korean and Portuguese. Below that is a calibration option, and we also have a joystick test to check for stick drift and a key mapping function. There is a Wi-Fi option to connect to local networks and access the internet. For themes, there are at least 20 available, many from Onion OS. At the moment, I like the standard theme. Below themes is the CPU frequency setting, offering multiple options. Getting familiar with this is essential to ensure games play at their max potential. Finally, the device info shows the firmware. Let's try to run some demanding game and look at the performance.
This is my story. It's the usual thing. Struggling student working his way through college, in love with the girl next door.
The classic Spider-Man from the PlayStation starts without problems. You can play at 30 frames per second. One of my favorite games is Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64. As you can see, playing it is quite comfortable. Another favorite of mine, Splinter Cell for the Game Boy Advance. Runs excellently, you can play it comfortably. Now for the benchmark game, GTA Vice City Stories for PSP. Unfortunately, it lacks even the processor settings set to the maximum. It's impossible to play it. In the end, I want to say that I am very impressed with this console. It is an excellent device for those who want to always have a portable collection of retro games and enjoy them at any moment. This console is easy to use, does not take up much space, and most importantly, you can start playing your favorite games right after purchase without any additional setup. It is ready to use straight out of the box. This is an incredible plus for most people who don't want to deal with firmware, settings and other intricacies. Just turn it on, choose a game and enjoy. I believe it is a versatile and ideal gift for both children and adults. And now please like and subscribe to the channel, wishing you pleasant nostalgia and successful completion of your favorite game.